Anytime you are, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, but I need you to hold on just for a second. For some
Okay.
reason. Oh, there we go. Now I got it. Sorry. It wasn't picking up the desktop audio. Would you mind giving me the question one more time so my audience can hear it?
No, sure. So I know that you give God credit for creating space, time, and matter. I was wondering if you know the mechanism that God would use for this type of creation.
Yes, sir. I sure do. He
Hmm.
spoke it into existence. You see, Hebrew is called the heavenly tongue. And when God created, He spoke everything into existence. When He spoke it, He spoke the words. How do you speak words? You simply do so from your will. If I'm going to say, oh, hello there, Mr. S.A., and that's what I call Mr. Strong Atheist before people start saying I'm calling him something in Mexican or Spanish. Anyway, um, again, when we do these things, we do this because of our words. Now, God is unique, He is a unique being. As a matter of fact, the reason He is God is because He's the ultimate being. So, with that being said, we have to recognize that when it comes down to everything, all of creation, it comes down to how we speak it. And now, you have some people who have what's called a name it and claim it theology. You speak it, your words have power. Because, hey, God's words have power, and we're created in His image, aren't we? Well, no, that's kind of a problem. While we are created in His image, we are not creators as He is. While we can produce, we cannot create. There is a difference.
So, like the spoken voice, even of a supreme being, what would that entail?
Spoken voice, and again, when you're talking about the spoken voice, you're talking about basically God's word. Oh, let me start the. Oh, for some reason that's not working. I'm sorry. I do apologize. I'm multitasking, and I am not good at that. Oh, look at there. There I am. Anyway, um, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that to me one more time? It's been a long day.
Oh, yes, certainly. So, the spoken voice that God would use for creation, um, how would that exactly work? Like, you have the spoken voice. What would produce time, space, and matter from the spoken voice, like the actual mechanism?
Well, that I don't know. I just do know that inside of God is ultimate power. And inside that ultimate power, when He speaks it into existence, I want you to think about this. Before He speaks it into existence, He has already thought about what He wants to speak into existence. Before you say your first word to anyone, do you not think about what you're going to say beforehand? Same thing is true with God. God knew exactly what He was going to do. He knew exactly what He wanted to speak. And when He spoke those words, they had true power. Our words do not.
Okay. I was wondering, and again, if anybody has any questions, please raise their hand.
Oh, yes,
They can
thank
ask
you for
questions.
coming in and visiting us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, and before I digress, before it gets any later, and you know how I am when it gets later and later, I forget things. But Mr. S.A., Mr. Strong Atheist, that's what I call Mr. Strong Atheist, Mr. S.A. I want to thank you, sir, for establishing this, setting this thing up, and allowing us to come together and have this conversation. Thank you, sir. It is much appreciated.
It's a pleasure, and I thank you very much for doing this. Quite kind, and I greatly appreciate it.
And I promise you,
Um,
sir, I will do my best to be on my best behavior. Now, I will go ahead and tell you, my best behavior ain't much.
No, I have had many interactions with you and
I know
understand
you
this,
have,
and I
sir.
appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate any effort that you can make in that direction.
Yes, sir. And
Um,
like we talked about earlier, I will do my best.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Um, I I have another question, if that's
Yes, sir.
okay.
Sure.
Um, I have never heard an explanation for God that didn't require special pleading. I was wondering if you had one.
Okay. What do you mean by special pleading?
That everything needs an explanation except for this one thing.
Oh, wait a minute. God has an explanation. That's not an issue.
Okay.
God is
What's
eternal,
that?
universal, and unchanging. And as such, He is the source of eternal, universal, and unchanging laws. Now, sir, that is God's explanation. Whether you like that or not, or agree with that or not, is irrelevant.
Sure, I understand. It sounds to me though those things are like describing his characteristics. I'm more interested in like his origin or how he would always
I'm sorry,
exist,
sir.
kind of
When you say origin of God, you already have made a mistake. God has no origin. Origin indicates beginning. God has no beginning. He has no end.
Oh, sure. That's why I put the later part of the sentence in that, or how he would always exist.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
how can that be explained? Yeah.
Yes, sir. And it's because he's the uncaused cause. He is the cause of all things that were caused.
Are you familiar with parsimony?
Yes, sir, I am. And I apologize if I keep look. I've got a new laser that I'm working with, and it's making some kind of weird noise, and it's an error indicator, and I've got about 4 hours worth of work sitting there. It's really making me nervous. So I apologize.
Sure.
Please, parsimony. I'm
No,
sorry. What was the question?
I was curious if you were familiar with parsimony
Yes, sir.
or
Parsimony, I
Occam's.
am.
Yep. Yep. So, also known as like Occam's razor, that the simplest explanation is usually the most likely.
Yes, sir.
Um, God, even if you want to say God is immaterial, um, just the attributes of God in the Western world, basically having a mind and intentionally
Ah,
creating the
if I may, sir.
universe. Hmm.
Thank you. If I may, in the Western world, why not all of the world?
Really, mostly saying that for the Abrahamic God that we generally speak
But
of,
wait a minute,
and
sir. Not all the Western world believes in the same Abrahamic God as the Eastern world. So why the distinction?
well, there's a lot of different gods, or God claims in the world, and so not all of them have to do with creation. Not all
I'm
of
sorry,
them
sir. So if
were
we can limit those that
being.
do deal with creation, because the God that I'm talking about deals with creation. So let's talk about only the gods that deal with creation. You know what that takes out of the equation? Islam.
Okay, I'm fine with that though.
I am too. I
A
just wanted
lot
to
of
make
people
that
say
point. So I love, to
sure.
my
A lot.
Muslim friends.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of people do say that Allah is the same as God with a different name. Other people don't take that position.
Unfortunately, sir, the
Well, either
God
way,
of the
uh,
Muslims, his name is not Allah. That is a generic term. That is a generic word for a God, not the God. And the God that the Muslims worship, his name is, and actually I apologize, her name is Dushara. You know what?
okay, that's
90% of
a new one
Muslims
for
won't
me.
know that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's new for me. I did not know that one.
Well,
Um,
that's what
as
Mr.
far as I
Batman do,
understood,
I teach.
okay, um, wasn't Ishmael the son that um Abraham had with his concubine, who was later cast out and started
Yes,
the
sir.
Muslim
Now I need to
religion?
ask you a question. Which of these two boys, which is the son of promise, and which is the son of the flesh?
Not sure. I'll take your
The
answer.
son of promise
Like,
is Isaac. Take your son, your one and only son. Wait a minute. Wasn't Ishmael his son?
oh, so now I'm a little confused because I thought when you were saying that you're talking about Jesus for some reason. Okay.
Well, I mean, I am.
Didn't
Actually, I
Abraham
am. Because
have-
is
oh, okay.
Ishmael in the lineage of Jesus or is Isaac? There we go. I love it when you're thinking,
Well,
sir.
Okay, wouldn't they be the same lineage?
No, sir,
At
they
least on
would
the
not.
paternity side?
They would not.
On the
Because
paternity side?
who was Ishmael? Who was his mother in reference to Isaac? And who was his mother? See, sir, this is
Okay,
why
yes,
you
I
need to
understand
study your
it's
scripture.
mother. No, I understand the difference. I understand that in Judaism it goes by the mother.
No. Has nothing to do with that, sir. Has nothing to do with the Jewish tradition crap. I don't give a crap. Show me that in the Bible. You won't be able to.
Okay.
So, sir, when you're talking about Isaac, do you know what the word Isaac actually means?
No.
I do. Would you like to know?
Okay, I'm curious. Certainly.
Say please.
Please, Mr. Batman.
Thank you, Mr. S.A. You know, I do like you, my friend. I really do. You put up with a whole lot of crap from me, and I do appreciate that. I really do. So anyway, Isaac.
No, it's my. I
Oh. Sorry, go ahead.
always like to speak with interesting folks. Yes, go ahead.
And you are very interesting to me, sir. And you know why?
Thank you. Why?
Because when I see you and I hear the arguments you present, the reason I have such an inkling or an inclination towards you, sir, is because I used to be just like you. I actually made some of the same arguments as well. And so this is why I have hope for you. Because, sir, let me ask you a quick question, and this will tell me everything I need to know about you. Are you seeking the truth? No matter where it is, no matter what it is, do you want to know what is true?
Sure.
And that, I believe, sir. You are 100% correct. Every time I've talked to you, sir, every argument you've ever presented to me, no matter how false or how invalid, I could tell you believed it. And this is why I like you, sir. So, not that I'm patting you on the back or nothing like that. Let's continue. But I just wanted you to know, sir, that there are certain people like myself. I'm going to tell you, I was an atheist. And I was more than a strong atheist. I would call myself a Conan atheist, because I would come in with my axe and whack, boom, boom, you're gone. I would knock Christian worldviews out of the park without even thinking about it. Because 99% of Christians out there cannot defend their worldview. That's a problem. Dang, that laser's bugging me. Anyway. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, when my uncle came to me, my dad's brother, who did not even, I think he finished 6th grade, that was it. But he was a smart man. I'm not saying he wasn't smart, but he ran his own business, he had a trucking company, he was a smart man. But he didn't have that education, that book learning crap. And so I'm wrecking Christian worldviews right and left, and he's just got saved, and he's now becoming active in his church, and I'm about ready to slam him down and show him how wrong he is. You know what so pissed me off, and I hate to say it that way, but it did, is that he asked me some questions that from his worldview I could not answer. I said, oh man, I'm going to prove you wrong. And when I couldn't, I said, okay, there's got to be a God, but not his God, any other God than Jesus. Guess which God it is? Jesus. The only God that is. I did not like that. And when I came to him and I told him, I said, you saved my life. And he said, no, I didn't. My God did. You know, he was so humble. I wish I could be a tenth. And that man was only a Christian for the last 15, maybe even 10% of his life. And yet he made an impact, so much of an impact, not just on our family, but our community. I hope that I have that kind of impact. And again, Mr. S.A., I don't mean to go down this tirade, but I do appreciate you as a person and what you bring to the table. Sir, I look at you and I see myself. I always wanted to know the truth wherever it is, however it comes about. If I have to change, I don't like it, but damn it, I will. And I think I see that in you.
Thank you. Quite kind. And on what you're saying, I just want to say that I have a lot of appreciation for the utility of religion. I know it helps a lot of people. It's a crutch for people. I understand this,
Yes.
but it really helps, like people on drugs, people in prison, people dealing with death, who affects every family. And so
Yep.
there's a lot of utility there. It's not that I'm against religion, because it has such helpfulness to people, but I just have a hard time believing that it's the case. Now, if I had a choice of what to believe, what you believe is way better than what I believe, mostly having to do with an afterlife, because my brain won't allow me to believe that.
May I
But
say
that, I
something
think,
real
is
quick?
sure.
Even though I do know what the Bible teaches about this next world, the next thing that's going to come, I don't even think about that at all, because that's not my focus. As a living human being, and I think you would think this as well, sir, that as a human interactive being in this world with other human interactive beings, I want to know as much as I can know. I want to learn as much as I can learn. Now, again, I know that I'm bizarre. I have no problem admitting that. But, sir, I truly think you fit into this level of bizarre as well. So, what I'm talking about is when we have this ability to look around and say, wow, why does this work the way it does? Why does the physical world function this way? By the way, how the hell did the physical world get here? Well, let's just put that on the shelf right now, since that's not science, observable, testable, repeatable science. Let's look at something that is observable, testable, repeatable science, which is every science that's flipping out there. How the hell do you do those without a loving, living, logical, lawgiver God who has put these parameters in place so we could know him? Have you ever heard the history behind how we discovered the aura or the aurora borealis? No, it's not aurora borealis. What the heck am I thinking? Anyway, it's the ring when we have a solar lunar eclipse and we can see all the rings and the light around it. Have you ever thought about that?
Well, I think that the eclipse itself produces it, right?
Yes, sir.
Naturally, and that's what we observe.
Yes, sir. But wait a minute. What I'm talking about is the ratios. Have you ever looked at the ratios?
I have not.
I didn't think you had, sir, because most of the time, if you're not familiar with this, your atheistic worldview will not point this out to you. Do you know that the earth is... Oh, excuse me. Wait a minute. The difference between the sun and the moon. The sun, from our particular perspective, is 443%. 443, that means it's 443 times bigger than where we are compared to the moon. But wait a minute. The sun itself is 443 times farther away than the moon is from us. Why is that important? Because it gives us the perfect golden ratio for when those two things come together and we can see the aurora of the sun. We can see the magnetic field sticking up. We can see sunspots. We can see so much in the optical field that we would not be able to understand without that perfect golden ratio. How do you explain that?
Well, let me ask, do you think that could have occurred naturally?
Oh, sure. Absolutely could have occurred naturally. But wait a minute, sir. The natural world, all time, space, and matter. What caused it?
So
there we go.
I understand science gets us back to Planck-Planck time after the expansion of the Big Bang started.
Big Bang. Oh, wait a minute. What started the Big Bang?
Yet before that, we don't know. I mean, I have a hypothesis.
I'm sorry, sir. Hang on a second, please. Can you do me a favor just for me?
Okay.
Thank you. When you say stuff like that, can you say, I don't know? I know you're trained to say we don't know, but I would prefer, if you're having a discussion with me, if you would say, I don't know. Because, sir, I do know. And it really is insulting to my intelligence when you say stuff like that.
Well, certainly I didn't mean to insult you.
No, I know you didn't. I know you had... No, please don't take it the wrong way. I never thought for a second you were trying to offend me. I don't want you to think that for a second, friend. Because I know you asked me in here for legitimate purposes, and I appreciate that.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, so I don't know what happened before the Big Bang. I have
Thank
a
you.
hypothesis that I like that has been... Yep, that has been catching on lately. I mean, I could talk about that a little, but I don't know what happened. But I do have a hypothesis that makes sense based on observations of what we see. Happy to talk about that if you'd like. I also want to mention real quick, somebody does have a question. I was going to say, if anybody has a question, that please raise your hand. We'll bring you up. And if you don't feel comfortable to come up, you can feel free to put... sorry, just for a second here. Feel free to post a question in the side chat, and I could ask it for you if you didn't feel comfortable to come up on the stage. Although there's nothing to be afraid of up here.
Yes, cool. Please remember, I know I have a reputation. I am not harmful to anyone. I will not harm... You know what? It's because I adhere to the 3 laws. I may not, through my action or through commission of inaction, allow the family or any of its members to come to harm, to the exclusion of all else. Now, Mr. S.A. here, while he may not be a Christian, I consider him a friend. That makes him family. He's asked me not to harm you. So you can trust I will not harm you.
Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate that greatly. And I will give Captain here a chance to ask a question in a second, but I just wanted to follow up real quick. If you wanted to hear the hypothesis that I like that has been catching on a little bit about before the Big Bang, did you want to hear that real quick? So, what I believe occurred, based on what I know, is that a white hole would account for the singularity as the best hypothesis that's known to me, at least. Because a white hole would be the opposite of a black hole. Things going into a black hole seem to be recompressing and becoming, dense inside the black hole. and coming out of a white hole could account for the actual singularity. And again, I don't know that that's the case, but that's the hypothesis that I like. That's been catching on a little bit lately.
Yes, sir.
If you have any response to that, yeah.
Oh, I'm quite familiar with that one, actually. But it still presupposes some things that it cannot justify. And I'm not going to go into all that, but I will tell you, it is an interesting hypothesis. The hypothesis, though, presupposes that there is something that generates time, space, and matter. I would ask for any type of science that can show you anything that generates time, space, and matter.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's actually generating time, space, and matter as much as accounting for how it could be cyclical.
No, I'm sorry, sir. Hang on a second. In order for you to account for it, how it's cyclical, you first must account for its origin. I'm sorry, Mr. Captain. I did not mean to interrupt you. Please continue.
Isn't, time relative? I'm not an atheist. I was just asking that question.
Sure. Absolutely. It's relative. But you have to ask yourself the question, what is it relative to?
Stuff.
I've never heard it put that way before. How generic can you be? Sir, let me give you an idea. The time frame that we live in right now. Now, I don't know where you are. I just happen to know where I am. I barely know that. But anyway, I live in Eastern Kentucky. That's where I'm from. I live in Southern Indiana. And in Southern Indiana, my time is different than where you might be, wherever you might be on the planet. So,
I see sunlight in your room.
Actually, no, sir, you don't. You see lights that are on that are making shadows that simulate sunlight. Because, sir, it is right now 8:30 p.m. and it's been dark for 3.5 hours where I'm at.
So we both live in near the same ocean.
Probably. I live in a little town called Scottsburg, Indiana. I'm about 45 miles north of Louisville, Kentucky. So, again, what I'm pointing out, sir, is that relativity, what is it relative to? Now, if I was to tell you it is right now, Alexa, what time is it? The time is 8:27 p.m. where I am, relative to me. What time is it where you are, sir?
8:27.
Well, there you go. So, you and I happen to be on the same relative time. And that accords to the theory of what? Relativity. Do you understand now?
I think I kind of get... I mean, we both live on the same planet, so we're going to experience time.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but if you lived on the South Pole and I lived on the North Pole, would we experience time exactly the same way? Because it's going to be relative, dependent to your position.
We're going to experience time the same way. Although I think
no, sir. No. Oh, wait a minute, sir. Are you telling me that there's 24 hours of daylight where I happen to be right now in Indiana, and there's 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night at the North Pole?
Well, I'm talking about time, not...
Hello, stupid! I'm going to ask you one more time before I mute you. Again, are you saying that... I'm talking to you right now, that there are evening and morning a day, right here where I'm at.
Yeah, I get it.
Are you saying that it's exactly the same? I'm done. Have a nice day. I'm not going to talk over stupid people.
I was talking about...
No, you're not talking at all, turd face. You're now muted.
Sorry about
I do apologize, Mr. S.A. I will only tolerate so much.
It's one of these things. Sometimes Mr. Batman has a fuse, and
Yes, sir, and it's a very short one.
yes,
Unlike everything else on my body.
yeah. I'm glad you said it. I didn't want to say that part. So right. Well, he asked you not to, so we kind of have to respect that because he's our guest. If you wanted to, he might be open if you posted it in the side chat, and I could read it for you if you would like. If you're open to that, and if he's open to that. And okay, sorry about that. And I have another question related to the previous question that we were speaking of, Mr. Batman.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know you're familiar with the first law of thermodynamics, conservation of energy.
Actually, it's the conservation of mass and energy.
Sure. Yep. The fact that energy / mass can't be created or destroyed, would that not entail that there was no need for it to be created because it would always exist?
I'm sorry, sir. What does that particular position presuppose?
I don't know that it presupposes it's an actual law, and it's.
Oh, no, sir. That position has a numerous amount of presuppositions, not least of which would be that time, space, and matter has always existed. Is this something you are presupposing?
I'm just citing it as a law. I'm not sure that.
Are you presupposing, sir, that in your little ethereal way of looking at things, that, well, we got to explain it, so time, space, and matter has always been here? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's actually not regarding time and space, only the matter.
I'm sorry, sir. If you have matter, when and where will it be? You see, sir, here's the problem. Anytime you reference matter, you're referencing a time in which it exists and a location, coordinates where it exists. So, sir, if you're referencing time, space, then you have to be referencing matter. On the concurrence of that, if you're referencing matter, you must reference time and space. They cannot be differentiated from one another.
Okay, however, I would have to talk a little bit about the singularity, which wasn't matter.
What singularity, and have you observed it?
I have not observed.
There we go. Don't care what you haven't observed. Don't care what you haven't tested, sir. You can believe any damn thing you want. Don't give a crap. Sir, I teach science. Observable, testable, repeatable science. If you ain't got that, I ain't interested. Hello.
But does your theist views meet that criteria?
No, sir. My scientific views meet that criteria. Okay. Let me ask you a question, sir. If you're going to have a scientific view about something, what is science? Can you tell me what is science?
Generally, things that are testable.
Negative, sir. What does the word science mean? You don't know that either. I'm happy to help you, sir. Science means knowledge. That, you know what? And you can know this because of the word conscience. Science. With knowledge. When your conscience is bothering you because you know it's wrong what you did. How did you know that going in? Because God put it there. Now, if you're going to do any science whatsoever, science requires time, space, matter, laws of logic, laws of nature, which dictate how time, space, and matter works. Sir, where do those laws come from that tells time, space, and matter how to work?
The laws themselves we made up to describe.
I'm sorry, sir. Nope. That is not an option because we need these laws to exist. As a matter of fact, without the laws of chemistry, without the laws of biology, without the laws of cause and effect, we are not here to bitch about it like you are right now.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. But
Oh, I will.
That we, okay, I'm sure you will. We made these laws up to
Sir, let me ask you a question. Was there one universe when everything began? Please remember that the word universe means single spoken sentence, and God created everything in a single spoken sentence. So, sir, was there one single universe when God created everything?
I don't know.
I do. Would you like to know? Because, sir, if you would like to know, I'd be happy to tell you. I know, sir. I have knowledge. Justified truth statement, sir. I can justify everything that I say.
Do you think that a multiverse is...
No, sir. My thinking is irrelevant. My knowledge is what matters.
Do you know that there's not anything outside of our universe?
Yes, sir, I do. Because the only thing that is outside of our universe is the Creator who created our universe. Sir, what would be the cause of all time, space, and matter in our universe? Remembering that the word universe itself means single spoken sentence?
Sure, so anything we've ever thought to be only one of, later we have found...
I'm sorry, sir. When you have something called a unicorn, have we ever found any unicorn that has more than one horn? Have you ever found a unicycle, sir, that has more than one wheel? No, because that's what defines them, stupid.
Okay. Well, so using your own examples, could there be more than one unicorn? Could there be more than one unicycle?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Yes, there could be many unicycles, and there are. There could be many unicorns. Have you ever heard of a narwhal, Skippy?
Okay. Then
hey, Skippy! Have you ever heard of a narwhal?
I've heard the word before.
Great. What is it? What is it?
I'm going to guess it's like a unicorn or a...
Oh, well, there we go. Now I know where you're lacking in your information, and I can help you. Sir, this is Biology 101. These narwhals are a form of walrus, maybe even cross between a walrus and a porpoise. But they have a single horn sticking out of their head, sir.
Okay. Right.
Go Google the picture.
That's fine. I just heard the word before. I'm not familiar with it.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Based on your two previous answers, that there could be more than one unicorn, there could be more than
I'm
one
sorry, sir.
unicycle.
Because there's more than one unicorn does not explain the source of the unicorn. Sir, if you have more than one human being, does that explain to you what the cause of human beings was? No, it doesn't. Boy, I tell you what, you're getting good.
No, and I'm...
You know what? You hang around with me long enough, Mr. S.A., you're going to get smart.
Okay. I look forward to that.
I do too, sir. I do too.
But based on that, there could be more than one unicorn, more than one unicycle. Couldn't there
I'm
be more than
sorry,
one
sir.
universe?
The fact that there is one unicorn or one unicycle, how do you explain that?
Well, I'm not really sure that there is one unicorn, but I'm
Really?
sure
Wait a
there
minute.
is
Do you
one
believe that there is one unicycle, sir? Is there something known as a unicycle?
Absolutely. And I'm
Great.
sure
How
there's
do you
more than one.
explain
There's
that,
more
sir?
than
What caused it? What caused the unicycle, boy?
What caused the unicycle? It was manufactured in a manufacturing
By
facility.
whom?
People who have
People.
access to
Thank
the
you, sir. So you have an intelligent
Sure.
mind behind the unicycle. So what intelligent mind would be behind the unicorn known as a narwhal?
Well, as far as I understand, and again, you cut out. A little bit,
I'm
but
sorry,
I
Mr. S.A. I don't care about what you understand or not. I'm asking you what you know. Do you know, sir, what is
Oh, okay.
behind the origin of the narwhal?
You're cutting out for me, Mr. Batman. I might request it if you maybe turn off your video. We might get a better connection.
Yes, sir. One moment.
Thank you.
Uh-oh. I don't think that helped. I do apologize. I believe my computer is about to crash. Oh, crud. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Darn it.
Testing your audio.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Start your app. Okay. Yeah, we're good now. Very good.
Okay. I don't know how long this is going to last. I've had 14 different error messages pop up. Windows is about to crash. But anyway, sir, I'm going to go ahead. Before we go any further, I want to say thank you for allowing me to come in here tonight and allowing me to have this conversation with you. I don't know how much longer my computer is going to continue. So just in case it dies, I got that out of the way. So let's please continue.
Sure, and yeah, and same to you. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Also,
Anytime.
I was not. Yeah, thank you. I was not able to hear like your last question or so.
Okay. So basically it boils down to this. Oh, shoot. Oh, wow, that was loud. I'm wearing my headset and it just screamed in my ears. I hope you guys didn't hear that. Anyway, when we're looking at things such as narwhals, we have a unicorn. When we're looking at things, then how do you explain what the cause of these things are? Not just that you don't understand what they are. I mean, like the word unicorn in the Bible. Oh, well, see, we use a word that ain't used today. Well, wait a minute. You got a word that's used in the Bible that ain't used today? Dragon. How many dragons you see out there today? Not very many. The Bible talks about dragons all day long. Why? Because they came off the ark with Noah, and we killed them. So once again, the Bible is perfectly true. And every man is a liar. Oh, hello there, Mr. Scotty. My friend Scotty down here is one of my former students.
Nice. If dragons were on the ark, would there not be at least a possibility that we might have some fossil record of a dragon?
We do, sir. They're called tyrannosaurs. They're called pteranodons. They're also called megalodons. Oh, shoot. Oh, not Archaeopteryx. Oh, what the heck's the other one? Pterodactyls. Yes, sir. Those are part of it. So, yes, sir, we have all kinds of evidence of dragon. Matter of fact, not only do we have evidence of that, but we have all these stories, these narratives about dragons that are killed by knights. Why do we have those?
As far as I understand, fictional stories, but
No, sir, there are not fictional stories, because If you go look, I can't remember the guy's name, but there's one British knight. He came into an area where this big dinosaur, this big dragon, was just destroying everything. He comes in, he kills it. He gets the lady, you know, just like in night stories and so. He dies. They bury him. But when they buried him, they carved the animal on the side of his sarcophagus that he killed. Guess what it was? A brachiosaur. Older people might know it as Brontosaurus. I am definitely older people.
Okay, same. I am also. Let's see. What the? You want to talk about the Noah's Ark scenario a little, or?
Sure, be happy to.
So we have over 1 million species of animals, and it seems that that number couldn't even come close to being on any kind of ark whatsoever, and especially what they consider to be like 4,300 years ago, to have any amount. And I've seen on websites I think it's between 1,100 and 70,000 species on the ark. If we have, these are theist websites, and if we have over 1 million species of animals now, how could that be the case? You would have to have super hyper evolution to even come close to explaining the diversity of species.
Really?
Yes.
Where did the first species come from, sir?
Well, our universal common ancestry will take us.
Oh, hang. Oh, no. You don't get to go down that little rabbit hole, sir. Again, time, space, and matter. What caused it so you can have living things inside of time, space, and matter?
Energy from the singularity.
I'm sorry, sir. Energy dies. Energy decays over time. Sir, what caused the energy that caused the Big Bang?
Based on the first law of thermodynamics, it always existed and would not.
Oh, no. You don't get to be that stupid, sir. So, again, the laws of thermodynamics tell us that matter and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. But, sir, that does not help you, because energy goes always in one direction, from order to disorder, from workable, usable energy and information to no workable, usable energy and information. So, sir, what caused that?
So, if energy can't be created.
I'm sorry, sir. Now, energy and matter cannot be created now. But it had a beginning in the distant past. Because, why? Because it's going to have an end in the distant future. Do you get that, Skippy?
As far as I understand, heat death will occur when.
Yes, there we go. You're getting better. So, anything that has an end, guess what it had to have? A beginning. What caused it to begin?
The expansion.
Have a nice day, Skippy.
Is that not correct? The expansion.
No, sir, it is not. Not even close. Have a nice day.